So what's up everyone on YouTube, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing amazing as always. And what I'm doing here live on stream is I got a request from a viewer to rank the DLC characters in terms of how much I like them. So that's going to be a very subjective list obviously, but I thought it was quite an interesting question, to be honest, and an interesting topic for a video. We've had a lot of DLCs and I was surprised just stacking them up here in my little stack here above me. You can see we actually have 13 DLC characters, so it's you know, there's been a lot of seasons, a lot of things happening. The game has changed a lot, and by God is it bloated. I mean, just look at the roster to the left there prior to DLC, and then you add all of that, and they are all so unique, the DLCs, and you know, many of them very strong. But what I'm gonna do first, before doing a detailed ranking, is I'm just gonna put them in like, these guys I favor, these guys I don't like. So at the top, I think Negan is probably gonna be favored. I like Negan, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Armor King is very, very hard to dislike. I've yet to encounter a single person who dislikes his redesign. They certainly did a great job. Eliza is one of the characters I dislike the most, so she goes right into dumpster territory. Or rather, you know, this is dumpster and this is dumpster fire. Oh, no, you know what? Leroy is also dumpster fire material. Zafina I sort of like. Ganryu, Julia, I'm very mild. Noctis, I really like the uniqueness he brings. I'm gonna go into the details soon. Lei. I feel bad about Lei because not even the Lei fans play Lei. You know the guys who dress like Lei, running around the city squares shouting "Hiya! Hiya!" and rolling on the ground, extremely overweight, covered in crusty old chips. They love Lei, but they still don't play him. And how do we know this? On Twitter, 5 million people screaming about give us Lei, give us Lei. I'm not making this up, this is literally true. And then he drops and still no one plays him, and you can't help but feel bad for the character. Everyone feels he should be in the game, but no one wants to play him. When you don't see him in the character select, you go, oh, where's Lei, he's so iconic. And then when he's there, you go, oh nice, he's there. Now where's my Katarina? You know, you just never ever play him. And I feel bad about Lei, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I can't lie on that one. Not gonna lie, as you kids say. Not gonna lie, but Lei, you're a smelly fuck. Apparently if you say not gonna lie, then you can be as rude as you ever wanna be, and you can get away with it. Just gotta say, not gonna lie. Your mother is fat, not gonna lie. That's what my chat told me yesterday. I'm very old, so I don't know about these, you know, street kind of things. Anna, mild. Marduk, I kind of like, even though he's kind of cheesy. Geese, I sort of like, and Fakumram is just a dumpster fire. So now we have everyone out in a sort of ranking. Now we're gonna start to try and break this down into details. So in terms of the characters I dislike the most, I think Eliza is the worst. And now I'm gonna start and get into character specifics. Eliza, I just really, really dislike the look of her. She looks like a joke. It looks like a 10-year-old drawing a... I don't want to be horrible and use the word prostitute, because I feel 10-year-olds probably don't draw prostitutes. But it looks... And there's nothing wrong with being a prostitute. I'm just saying... yeah, I just really, really dislike this character design. I think she looks incredibly uninspired. She looks like shit, to be honest. The horns are... Yeah, honestly, it looks like a 10-year-old, like, this is my power trip vampire. Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised I even have to explain this. I guess if if you're very immature and you have very bad taste or no taste whatsoever, you might think Eliza is cool, I guess. Because you think the... I don't know, maybe you love, you know, Dragon Ball Z design. Sorry, I really despise Dragon Ball design. You know, lots of horns and tentacles and orange pajamas going, ah, you know. I'm sorry. So yeah, really dislike Eliza. Leroy is probably the greatest Tekken tragedy of all time. Had unanimously, you know, very what's the word I'm looking for here? Hailed visual design by the community. I've said this many times, you know, arguably the greatest original character design going back 15 years. But unfortunately, his gameplay is the worst gameplay I've seen in 15 years. So he goes right into the dumpster. And every time I fight Leroy, I really dislike it. Fakumram, design-wise, I'm pretty mild on him. He's grown on me a little bit, but again, the gameplay is just a joke. So that's Dumpster Fire. And then I'll probably have Lei here. Very obnoxious character because 65 stances, 65,000 moves. Never ever encounter him, and when I do get the chance to fight him, it's like having a huge PhD test again that you haven't practiced for. And then you fight him a little bit and you learn some of the questions. What's the capital of Romania? What's the capital of blah blah blah? And you're like, okay, I get some of them. There are 65,000 questions, but you get some of them. And then he disappears, the test disappears. And it's gone for 6 months. And you try and hold the answers in your head. You're like, okay, Romania, Bulgaria. And then 6 months later, the test shows up again at your face. What's the capital of this? Well, what's 55 times 55,000? And you're like, yeah, that's basically Lei. And I hate it. I just hate it. Ganyu is just uber cheesy, one of the least played characters. Again, it's like the matchup is just a clusterfuck. Has some very over-the-top tools. I don't like his design. Goes back to... A lot of people don't know this, but Ganyu goes back to Tekken 1. But yeah, never ever been a fan favorite. So Ganyu goes there. Zafina, I kinda like, but she's pretty cheesy with that movement and how, you know, she's like Ganyu. No one plays Zafina. She's uber cheesy. But man, I really like her visual design. Great redesign on her. And her animations are just beautiful to look at, in my opinion. So she goes there. Julia was much better when she was great at Thunberg, you know, save the trees, how dare you? That was better. I don't like streamer Julia. I think it's kind of corny. And I think she's too strong. I think a lot of people are sleeping on her, but I think she's too strong. But again, I'm not in love with Julia, to say the least. And a more charming Nina, I would say. And these are the ones I really like. Like, Noctis is uber cheesy, but they sort of fixed him. He was paid to win on an absolutely outrageous level in Season 2. But I think it's almost like I put on the map the fact that you could just abuse the shit out of Aura and Downback 2. And then those got nerfed. Thank God, because in beginner and intermediate play, that character just slayed everyone. He made the game ridiculously unbalanced in any level of play beyond high level. But what I really like about Noctis is that sure, he's kind of brain dead and simplified in that he has enormous range to carry lower level players, because oh, I can just neutralize your amazing movement with my engine blade that hits across the stage. That's basically what the beginner characters do in Tekken 7. If you look at the greatest examples are Noctis, Katarina, Negan, and some other Claudio, you know, where we have a lot of range to compensate for players' lack of movement. So rather than having to focus on spacing, if the attacks just, you know, have endless range. And you might dislike that, you might like it, it is what it is. But I find that Noctis is interesting in that he's a little bit like a siege tank in StarCraft, that if he keeps you far away, he's very strong. But as soon as you get in on him, he's very vulnerable. And I've always felt that that is fascinating with Noctis, and I really like it, and no other character really does that. So I really like the character design, but his visual design I don't like at all. You know, the emo Final Fantasy look. It's the gameplay design I really enjoy with Noctis. And then it gets harder. Really like Marduk. Uber cheesy. So much fun to play. In terms of fun to play, he's for me right now above these guys. But the visuals, I mean, it's basically Goldberg. For those of you who don't know, VCW, WWE wrestler, obviously based on him. But yeah, I don't like Marduk's visuals too much. And after that, I love Geese Howard, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury. Before I had played Tekken, in 1994, I played Fatal Fury. And I remember Geese, him doing his throw, this classic throw, you know, where he throws them, and I just fell in love with the character. And that's before I'd ever played Tekken. That was before Tekken was out, actually, on consoles. But man, oh man, did they do a good job with Geese. I don't think Geese has ever been cooler, to be honest, than he is in Tekken 7. And he's so much fun to play, and he's challenging and rewarding, but he's so cheesy. He's so over the top. I really hope we see nerfs for him with, well, the next upcoming balance patch. But yeah, Geese is up there. And then it's probably gonna be... I don't play him that much these days, but I can't help but love the fact that they put in a character from The Walking Dead. It's just so out of left field. And yeah, it's Tekken 7. They didn't have the biggest budget, and you can definitely tell when you see Jeffrey Dean Morgan's... As soon as there's a close-up, you know, in intro or win poses where there's facial animation, or just seeing a close-up of his facial model, and it's just so subpar compared to what we see in, like, compare like Arnold in Mortal Kombat, and it's like, it's just so night and day in terms of the capabilities of these different studios. So that's unfortunate, but what is really cool is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan himself voiced the character. And as always with Tekken games, the animations are beautiful. It's so well made, like, and the character concept is interesting. And again, he's a Tekken 7 easy mode character, but I can't help but feel he is interesting, and he's so carried by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I really liked The Walking Dead up until season 6, where it started to go downhill for me. Well, basically the introduction of Negan. Yeah, I just really like, I guess, the fact that they added someone from a, you know, drama series. And then, to be honest, I'm probably gonna have to say Armor King at the top. And that goes pretty much in line with, I guess, what the general... My opinion here goes in line with maybe the general audience a bit, because he's the most popular DLC. And he's been the most popular DLC ever since his release, which is now, what? 2 years ago? I think? Well, almost 2 years ago. But yeah, they knocked it out of the park with his redesign, and suddenly he's more popular than King. Well, he's more popular than most characters in the game. And he's really fun to play. He's very fundamental. He's not that strong, but for the most part, that doesn't matter because we're not playing at Evo. I really like Armor King. He's so cool and he's just so fun to play. But yeah, of course, in terms of like my opinion going in line with the community, these guys are uber popular. I mean, we know now that Leroy is like top 5 played characters. On his release, he was top 7. Now he's made it to top 5. He's getting more popular. So yeah, I guess, well, this is just my opinion. But so yeah, this would be my ranking, to be honest, of how much I enjoy the DLC characters. And yeah, these are the guys I play the most. And when it is Zafina and these guys, not really, you know. So Wing, I hope that was a satisfactory answer to your question. And thanks for a great question. And I hope you guys on YouTube and Twitch found that at least slightly interesting. Thanks for listening to me.